Hello and welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm super excited to have Dre McLaughlin on the show. And Dre is the host of the Hot Hire 6 and 7 figure coach that are on fire podcast. And he's also an author. And I'm super excited that he's got an authority branding playbook for absolute beginners and us fellow coaches. Welcome, Dre.
Neil, just want to say, oh man, what an intro, and thank you so much for having me on. So what you're doing is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. So I'm going to ask you to visualize and go back in time to the younger version of Dre. It could have been the Dre out of university or his first job or the Dre that's in high school. Pick one, anyone. And what was the younger version of Dre's vision or version of success?
Great question, Neil, great question. All right, so if I think back, for me, like growing up, like leaving college, going to uni, success for me back then was actually I really wanted to be a professional football player. So when I say football, I mean like soccer. So actually we don't call it soccer, so it's football, round ball, football. So I wanted to be a footballer, and then at a certain point, when I was around 17, I knew that that wasn't going to happen. So I wasn't dedicated enough, and I wanted to be in business or a business owner. So having my own business, like having the dream, like the big house, the fancy car, and 2.4 kids. So that was lots of money. That was what I thought success was all about. But it hasn't worked out that way.
Yep. So just an aside, a crazy question. What position did you play in football?
I was one that's scoring all the goals. So I score all the goals, celebrate. So yeah, the striker.
Yeah, I was traditionally in defense, and then anytime I ever got hurt, I broke my collarbone in football, is when they moved me forward. As I'm just chasing down that ball and so focused, didn't even see the foot come out. It was an intentional trip. I went shoulder in. It's like, so anytime I ever played forward, I always got hurt. So I only ever played defense after that.
I love that.
Um, so the Dre sitting here right now that has not had any pain and suffering. Life has been roses and champagne glasses and goblets. So he's just lived this beautiful, privileged life with no ups and downs. What is your version of success now?
I wondered where that was going. So with everything that's happened for me, success is all about growth, but also the things that go wrong with us, being able to learn those lessons. And sometimes those lessons, they just keep coming around until you've actually, okay, all right, I know I need to change that. And Beth Bergen, so I saw Beth Bergen's interview, which was awesome. And she was saying like about helping others or like relationships as well. So it's we probably hear it quite a lot in our circles, but like helping people help people. So it's that ripple effect. So internally, if I can grow, externally, if I can grow, and if I can help other people grow, then I think that's what it's all about.
So, in order for you to grow, are you trying to tell me that in order to be successful, I have to look at inside and figure out all about me? But I don't want to do that.
That's what it comes down to. If you can understand yourself, then you'll be able to understand others better. Where they. If I could do, I was thinking about one of my previous relationships, probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I just didn't because I was more focused on myself. I just didn't understand like her. So looking back, I'd do things a lot differently if I had the chance.
But Dre, I don't want to look at myself. I want to catch up on the latest Netflix or the latest movie, and I just want to exist.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a lot of like the world's population are like that. So probably not conscious to what's going on, but I believe at some point it might be too late, but you'll realize, okay, then this is what it's about. So I don't want people to have regrets. I don't want people to have regrets, because that would be, say, if you're stood in front of like the pearly gates or whatever you want to call it, and then missing your opportunity to actually make a difference to yourself, but also to help people.
Wonderful. So, at somewhere in your life, your experiences from the footballer to the person that's standing in front of me that's now wanting to help people and is willing to look at all the pimples and warts that he may have, was there a moment, or was it a series of moments that made you go, oh, this is what I really want to do?
Oh, great question. There would have been a series of moments, but there would have been milestones along those moments. So I think the first catalyst would have been like something like a relationship that didn't really go well. It was like very sort of traumatic, and I was down and depressed, and just couldn't get out of bed, and I was like smoking like weed and things like that, and I just couldn't move. But then I read a book called The Secret, and I was like, oh, what's all this positive thinking stuff? And I actually applied some of the things in there, just step by step, just gradual, and then things got better for me. And then a few years later, like something else happened, and then you know you make a change, and it's just, we're always going to have problems. That's basically we're always going to have problems. That's how you deal with those problems and grow.
But Dre, you had everything. You had the big money, you had the prestige, you were a top salesman. You why the hell would you give that up to go into personal development and growth?
Yeah, so
What
with
was
my
there, what was the gnawing, the piece of you that said that this wasn't right, but this could be right?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, I was working like in corporate, like sales and recruitment, and I didn't enjoy working for other people. I loved like helping people, but there was just something inside me that I wanted to be able to do things like my own way. And I'm not saying that I've got a problem with authority. How, however, there was something just didn't feel right, and I knew deep down inside that what I shouldn't be doing. Hey Tina, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So so what I'm doing now, it feels right. It feels like I'm doing my passion. I'm on purpose.
Ah, so if we uncover this and pull it apart, what you were doing before, you weren't quite as you enjoyed it and it was something to do, but it truly wasn't a passion of yours.
That's yes, you said that perfectly. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed helping people, helping them onto the next step. However, because it wasn't like my own company, and you're kind of restricted in what you can do, and I couldn't be, because I'm quite a creative person, so I couldn't be, I guess, fully me. I couldn't be 100% Dre. That's what it is.
Okay, so if so so you had this comfortable lifestyle, and you now were moving towards um, something else. I suspect that there was those well-intentioned people going, Dre, but the money, you got a good job and it got a good thing. Why are you leaving a sure thing? You could retire here as opposed to moving into the unknown. Were there those naysayers in your life?
Yeah, so so where I really sort of heard it is when like you jump in, you're doing your own business, and it's not easy. It's like an emotional like roller coaster. And there were times where lost my money, didn't have any money, and like say you're speaking to your parents, speaking to your friends, and they're like, just give up, just go and get a job. But they don't understand. I could never ever work for anybody else again. So it's for me, it's all about the bigger picture. And I know in every journey, there's always going to be like struggles. Um, but yeah, I couldn't. It's hard for them to understand. It's hard for other people to understand if they haven't done it, because most people have got So yeah.
Yeah. So where do you think, like this is the most intangible part of a conversation. Where do you think, or what do you think kept you going? What kept you moving forward? Because you could have, using a knife analogy, you could have gone back. You're still sitting on the edge, and you could have gone back to the safe comforts of the corporate 9 to 5, or but you chose to go on the other end of the blade, which is what got you back up, using the Rocky analogy. The Rockies just had the crap beat out of you, and if you were Rocky, what picked you up?
Oh, do you know what it was? So yeah, if I'm really open about it, in my last corporate position, I was treated like really, really badly, and I guess you'd say humiliated. Because I don't have enough time to go into this story now, but yeah, I'm happy to share that like another time. So if that experience, that really negative experience wouldn't have happened, then I probably would still be in corporate, just been feeling like, oh, there's something not right, but just would have been, going through like the hamster wheel. Um, and for me, it was I don't want that to happen to me ever again, or to happen to anybody else.
So it was like a little bit of anger, it was a little bit of pride, it was like a little bit of, I am going to do this and I'm going to show you and show myself.
Yeah. So it's more about me to see what I'm capable like of now that I've kind of seen the light. But yeah, I would like to stick it to to the previous company. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it's as a marathon runner, everybody looks at me when the first time, and they look at you like you're completely stupid, because everybody hits some kind of wall where you're going, and you could quit, but everybody moves on in life, and it's that piece, that intrinsic piece, is what keeps you going forward. And
Oh, Neil, that is a great question. Yeah, because I've thought about quitting on this journey. Yeah, a couple of times. I just I it's the pain. It's the pain of so I'm all in. So it's the pain of, okay, if I'm not going to be doing this, I'm definitely not going to be going back to corporate. So this is the only option. So this is the
no,
only option. So it's the
yeah,
pain of living a life that I don't want to live.
wonderful. Because at some level, I think successful people have cultivated that or have experienced that, and there's no going back. So in your case, you've burnt the boat, in your, figuratively speaking. So you're on the island, and figuratively speaking, or metaphorically speaking, you've burnt the boat. There is no plan B.
No plan B. No plan B. So
Yeah. So that's cool in itself. So we could pick anyone in the success world. Um, in the world that has had more success than us. It could be the Tony Robbins, the Richmond Dins, the TKs. It could be Ronaldo, who's been a phenomenal soccer player that has achieved it. But what do you think are some of, or one of the skills or the passions or something that's helped them along the way? And this is from your observation, and it's your version of what you think it is.
All right, so I've got Tom Bilyeu, so a billionaire that created like Quest bars, and he's got a show called Impact Theory. I used to listen to his podcast like all the time, and one thing, or a couple of things, I know you said one, but a couple, is yeah, he talks about focus, discipline, and drive. So that would be, yeah, that would be it for me. Focus, discipline, and drive.
So if the average person used those three principles, it it would move them, once they knew what it is that they wanted, to a higher level of achievement.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of people find it difficult to be disciplined. So to stick at something and be consistent day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. But yeah, if you can be focused, disciplined, and then keep going, even when things get like difficult or challenging, then you will get there in the end.
And the other piece that I know that what I love is someone that's um, high achieving in success, whatever you define it as. And if success is to be um, a life coach, whatever it is, to be the best soccer player, the first time they get into a high level team, that's success. The second time they go to a next level, next level, next level. Then it becomes the first goal that they score, the second goal, the first cup they win. Then the next is the World Cup. And then they repeat this and repeat this. So they're always adjusting and to keep them competitive and going.
I love that. Yeah, I totally agree. I love the way that you've put that. And I was just thinking when you were saying that there's going to be a devil in every level. So there's always going to be something that we've got to overcome, and it's always going to continue no matter what. So
Hmm.
yeah, we just have to be certain, like with that, and just think that we shouldn't have any problems or any obstacles.
Uh, in my linear world, when I'm sleeping and I have my rose-colored glasses on, it is always linear. It's a nice angle to it, and there's no bumps and there's no cliffs or edges, and nobody falls off. And then I wake up, and the light and the truth and reality of life shows up.
Yeah, I
But
hear you
it's
on that one.
never. So if you were to leave people with a thought, whatever, or a gift, or whatever it is that you would like to leave our guests with, what would that be?
Well, it's going to be a follow-on from Tom Bilyeu. So he's got a quote which is one of my favorite quotes of all time. So it doesn't matter who you are today; it only matters who you want to become and how hard you're willing to work to become that person.
Ooh, I really like that. That's good. Just say that again, just so we get it twice. On.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are today; it only matters who you want to become and how hard you're willing to work to become that person.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, because I know you've got days stacked crazily because you're off to other meetings right after this. So thank you, Dre, for spending the time with me.
And I just want to say, yeah, thank you for letting me rock out with you. And what you are doing over these like few days is phenomenal. So you're an absolute legend.
Thank you. Be well, my friend.